What? We okay? We're going to start on our feet. I always think that's a really beautiful place to start the practice. Standing tall, taking a position, like standing right there at the top of your mat. Acknowledging that you are here and you are ready to begin. Now I know some of you have done a little bit of studying of the yoga history, philosophy. There are some of you that are teachers. Some of you that have never opened a book about yoga. You come here, you move, you like it. And so I want to share with you the very first teaching, the very first thought, the very first bit of information. If you were to open the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the very first thing that we are introduced to for this practice is the concept of now. It basically says Atta Yoga Anusasanam. It says yoga begins now. The exposition of yoga begins now. And I can't think of a more important place to start than understanding that we need to be in the present moment. Like for this practice to actually have the value that it can have for us, we must understand that we need to be present. There's nothing wrong with having memories. There's nothing wrong with having dreams for the future. But the only thing that we really have is this moment right now. And as yogis, we're trying to learn how to be right here, right now, in this moment. And it starts with the idea that we get connected to our bodies and our breath. So even right now, can you feel the soles of your feet on the mat? When we bring our five senses into the practice, we are really in tune with the inputs that are happening in the moment. Our senses don't pay attention to anything that's already done, and they're not anticipating anything that is to come. They keep us in present time. The mind is badass crazy, right? The mind is wild. And so our work is to find ways to be in this present moment, and we do it with the breath. We do it with like really consciously moving our bodies, feeling, listening, tasting, touching. Do you think today that maybe we can open our awareness, our consciousness, to that concept of being right here, right now? Let's take a deep breath and reach the arms up. Just like feel your body move. Feel the little bit of stretch sensation. And then exhale, bring your hand to your heart. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach the arms up. It's like you feel yourself actually moving. You're actually doing this. Hands to heart center. One more time, take your time. Let the breath and the movement happen in sync. And then draw the hands right into the heart. We'll pause here and meet ourselves exactly where we are. We are blessed this morning to have one extra set of hands. I'm so grateful for Lisa being here. And you'll just work your way around. So if you feel hands coming in to support you in your practice, and it's not me, know that that was authorized. And you are in good hands. She's a seasoned teacher, and she's a sensitive and really beautiful human, and she really only wants to enhance your work. So just welcome her input. Now, feet are on the ground, breath is flowing free. You feel the way your hands touch each other. We really, truly meet ourselves right exactly where we are. We're going to move a little bit. So on your next inhale, let's reach the arms back up. Interlace all of your fingers except for the index fingers. And then take a little stretch to the right side. And know that it doesn't have to be the biggest, deepest, craziest stretch ever. Yoga is not about how deep we go in the poses. It's about how much space we can create in the body. How we can begin to move consciously through the body. On your inhale, bring it back up. Take it to the other side. Try to stay tall. Don't let your head drop. Maybe even take your eyes up toward your fingers. Pull the biceps back by the ears and make your arms even longer. On your inhale, come back to center, and then very slowly let the arms come out and down. Just feel. I believe that when we move slower, we're actually paying a little closer attention to the subtleties that are happening in the body. And that is what I want you to awaken to today. Inhale, reach the arms up, don't rush. Exhale, let's all fold over. Hinge at the hips, let your head down, let your arms down. Take a moment and feel that. Hamstrings are tight. They always are. I don't know why. I mean, I have some theories about why. We don't bend over enough, that's one. But there's some other energetic and emotional reasons why we may hold tension in our legs. Let's bring our fingertips onto the shins. Come halfway up. Really lengthen your spine. Feel the chest pull forward. Feel the belly button draw into the spine for support, and then grow it even taller, even longer. That's it. Take a deep breath. Fill your lungs. And then exhale, fold in deeply. On your inhale, with that same flat back, lift your head and chest and come all the way up. Stretch high up over your head. And then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. I love the way you're moving. Let's do it again. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold, mindful. Come halfway up, inhale, lengthen, draw the heart forward, and then exhale, fold. And with a flat back, make sure that head and chest come up first, hinge at the hips, come up really tall, reach high, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, hands right to your heart center. Ready to move on. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, let's forward fold. Fold in deeply. Lift and lengthen on your in-breath. Now step the right leg back. Please stay on your toes. Both hands are on your mat. We'll stay right there. See if you can drop your hips a little lower, but lift that right knee a little higher so the back leg stays sturdy. And then root your right hand down and twist to the left side. Remember, the deepest isn't the best. The way you express the pose is it's like an expression of you looking for creating space. It's like we're trying to open the gateways to release the tension of the body. And I don't think anyone gets to get through this life without tension, especially lately. You can't turn anywhere without bad news, people fighting, disagreements, digging in our heels on the positions we believe in so deeply. And so we are all armored up. For this 1 hour, could we try to peel the layers off? Could we take the armor away? Take one more breath. Soften your heart. Turn it up toward the sky. And then eyes down, hand down. Take a big step back into downward facing dog. Both feet at the back of the mat, hands at the front of the mat, and you just lift your hips up high. That's it. Breath is still flowing free, and I want you to just meet yourself where you are. The coolest thing about that teaching is that it was relevant when we first started the practice. And if I were to say to you right now that yoga begins now, it would be the truth. Anytime that you've lost your focus or your concentration, the moment you bring it right back into present time is when your yoga begins. Let's take one more breath. Push back just a little bit. And then walk our hands to the back of the mat. Just very lightly. Walk each hand toward the feet. Bend your knees, tuck your tailbone and your chin, and roll up slowly. Let's come up one vertebra at a time. Feel yourself push down as you rise up. That's it. Inhale, arms reach. This time bend your elbows, grab the opposite elbows, and then take a stretch to the right. And I want you to use your right hand to pull your left elbow just a little, spread through the waistline. Keep both feet grounded. Again, those senses orienting you in your body, in present time. I mean, you hear the music, you feel your breath. All of this happening right now in this moment. There is enough to focus on that you don't have to be distracted. Let's come back to center with an inhale. Switch the crossing of the elbows to the weird one, yep. And then go to the other side. Stretching to the left, use your left hand to pull the right elbow. And again, just the idea of making space. Not that you have to go so deep into the left side, but that we're opening the right side. Think about that. And then as you inhale, return to center. Let's stretch our arms up and then release them all the way down. So good, everyone. Inhale, both arms reach. Then exhale, forward fold. Just moving through the body. See if you can stay present. Lift and lengthen on your inhale and walk it forward. Here's your first plank pose. Plank is an energy-producing pose. It requires a lot of muscle effort. And so you got to really bring your strength out in this moment. Belly to the spine. Don't let anything sag. Lift yourself from the floor. Lift. Nothing hanging. So we don't want to bear down. We want to lift up. Yes. And then bend the elbows and come on down slowly. Try to move a little forward as you lower. Lay it onto your belly. And then inhale for cobra. Cobra is a little baby back bend. It's not on your elbows. It's on your hands. The elbows are lifted and behind you, and they're kind of squeezing to broaden the chest and make more room for the breath, and also to awaken the strength of your back body. Take one more breath there. Feel that. And then release it gently. Tuck your toes and go all the way up and back to downward facing dog. That's it. I like the way you're moving. Our pace is slow, but it's deliberate. Take one more breath. Push back just a little. And then look at your hands and start walking your feet to the top of the mat. We walk it up and bring the feet together. Come halfway up on the inhale. Fold deeply on the exhale. And with that same flat back, let's rise all the way up. Head up first, then reach the arms. Exhale your hands right to heart center. And we'll go through that again. Inhale, arms reach. I love what I see here today. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Now, hands down, step the left leg back. Just stay on the toes. We're going to root that left hand down and twist open to the right side. So I want us to adjust our attitudes. Maybe just the feeling that it's not about how deep I go. It's not how aggressive I can get with my body. It's like, how much space can I create? Could I push down a little more with my left hand so that I could soften my heart and really open the chest? Take one more breath there. And then the eyes go down, that hand goes down, and you'll take one big step back into downward facing dog. Let your head down, lift your hips high, and meet yourself exactly where you are. It helps to spread your fingers and really get good handprints. The more we press down, the more we have the ability to rise up and create more space. Take one more breath right here where you are. And then go ahead, start to walk your hands back to your feet. Yep, just like we did before. I'm breaking the patterns a little bit to make sure that you are here in the now. Come halfway up on the in-breath, fold deeply on the out-breath, and then bend your knees and roll up slowly. Just feel it, really. Can you let yourself feel the process? Inhale, both arms reach high. And then bring your hands to heart center. Good. I want you to release your hands and take them behind you and just check in with your feet. I want to make sure that your feet are hip distance apart. And then you're going to interlace your fingers and put your knuckles on your sacrum. So I'm going to do a 360 so that everybody can kind of see what I'm talking about. The sacrum is that little bony thing at the bottom of your spine. It's like a flat bone structure. And your knuckles can rest there. And if you push the knuckles in just a little bit, you can feel your shoulder blades squeeze back and your elbows go back. That's it. Now stand a little taller. I want you to feel your heart rise. And then everything that you've got, just like take the arms away from your back and stretch the heart open a little bit more. Yep, arms away from the back. They're straight, they're moving away from your body, and your chest is lifted. Take a deep breath in, and then exhale, lead with your heart. Let the heart come out forward and come all the way down. Once your head drops down, start to lift the arms a little more away from your back. Make sure you're breathing. That's really good. A little squeeze in the shoulder blades. A lot of breath up into the chest. And then go ahead, release your hands, let them hang. Soften your knees, tuck your tailbone and your chin and roll it up slowly. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Let's take our hands and draw them right out in front of us. See if you can get them parallel to the floor and then push your palms forward. Just imagine that you were in plank, right? Plank already. Your body knows, your mind knows to activate and engage all of the muscles. So it's like you're pushing the earth away from you and you feel the core engage. Now lift your right knee. See if you can get right knee to touch right elbow. And it might not get there. It's okay. But don't drop your arm to make it meet. Lift your knee to make it meet. Yes. And then put it down. We're just gathering information. Go ahead. Try the other side. And what you might be learning is balance is hard. My hip flexors are weak. My hamstrings are tight. Like, what kind of information are you getting? See if you can make it touch. And then release. Put it down. No big deal, arms by your sides. Inhale, arms reach. Never measure yourself by the way you execute a pose. Exhale, forward fold. Come halfway up, inhale, look forward. Walk it out into plank pose. Let's see if it gets a little better right here. Lift your right foot from the floor. See if you can draw the right knee to the right elbow. Squeeze it just a little bit. A little better when we're parallel to the earth, not working against gravity. Go ahead, step back and lower. Lower all the way onto your belly. You could put your knees down if you need to develop the upper body strength. Inhale, cobra. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Check in. Make sure you are fully present. You feel that breath moving. You feel the body awakening and opening up. Let's take one more breath in. And then come forward into plank. Lift your left foot from the mat. Draw the left knee to the elbow. A little easier there, yeah? Keep your head up. That's it. And then step it back and lower. Inhale into cobra pose. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Good. I really like what I'm seeing today. Take one more breath. Push back a little. And then let out a little ah. When you're ready, I want you to take your time and walk your feet right up to the top of the mat. Every single thing done with purpose. Slow does not mean easy. Come halfway up, inhale. Fold deeply on the exhale. Bend your knees. Here comes chair pose. These conversations are clear. Slowing the pace gives you more time for mindfulness. And I want this practice to become something that is mindful, not effortful. We are paying attention, we are feeling, we're observing, we're getting information. Feet should be together at the top of the mat. The big toes should touch. See if you can sit down a little deeper and do not hold your breath. Do not hold your breath. When you push into your feet, you'll come to standing. Let's stretch back a little, make it feel good. And then exhale, hands to heart. Good. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on the inhale. Go ahead, step it back to plank and lower on the exhalation. Inhale for cobra pose. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Now I want you to keep those hips square. And I want you to lift your right leg behind you, but try to keep it parallel with the earth. Don't lift too high. I want you to really focus on outer right hip staying down, but right leg really lengthening behind you. Go ahead and point your toes. Reach the toes back as far as possible. And then without lifting the right hip, I want you to lift the leg. You guys feel what's happening there? A little booty tone, right? You feel that. Keep the hip down, lift the leg. Keep that leg lengthening back, reaching through your toes. Oh, I love what I see. And then go ahead, step that forward to your hands. Rise into high crescent lunge. Take your time, push down to rise up. And now I want you to sink in just a little lower, but straighten that back knee. Find the balance there. It's hard. Sometimes when we go in, we feel like we have to bend the knees. It's the front knee that bends, the back one that straightens, and it might mean you can't go as deep as you wanted to. It means you're existing in the truth of what's happening in your body right now in this moment. So we have a nice sturdy base. Go ahead, reach a little higher. Take one more deep breath. And then go ahead and release. Hands down. Step back and hold, please. Now you can put your knees down or you can stay in your plank. We are going to lower for one push-up. Could you imagine? One. Don't complain. Bend your elbows, lower your chest, and then push yourself back up and go to down dog. Well done. Let's lift the left leg behind us. That means outer left hip stays down. The hips don't open. You still feel like you're in down dog. The leg is maybe parallel with the earth, and the toes are pointing. And then I want you to keep those outer hips level. Really reach back through your toes, but start lifting the leg a little higher. Notice where the lift comes from. Oh, I love what I see. You guys are right on it. Let this action in your body make an impression. We're going to need it later. Take one more breath. Feel that little squeeze in the glute. And then go ahead and step left foot forward to the hands. Sweep up into high crescent lunge. The arms reach overhead. That's it. Now pay attention. What's happening in your feet? I want to make sure that front knee is straight forward. Don't let anything turn in. Back leg as straight as possible. Lift that back knee away from the floor. And then see if you can just sink the whole thing down. Keep the integrity. What's happening is we're opening the front of the right hip flexor. You can feel it. And if you want to go in more, bring the right hip a little more forward. I know some of you really like to get the juice, right? Some of you really like to find the nuances. You like to feel your edge. So if we keep the back leg straight and we keep our torso really nice and tall, but we bring the right side of the body a little more forward, it's going to go, right? Give me one more deep breath in, and then exhale, hands go down. Step back, hold your plank pose. Keep the eyes a little bit forward. Decide, do I want to put my knees down or am I going to try one push-up? I'm going to try one. It's a tricep push-up, so your elbows stay in close, and you're going to lower a little forward and down, and then push back up. You got it. No up dog or cobra there. Just lower and push back up. Yes, some of you are giving me 10. I love you. Go ahead, return to down dog. Let's take a deep breath in. Let out a little sigh. Discharge any of that judgment that just came up about that. And then go ahead and walk your feet right up to your hands. Come halfway up. Inhale. Fold deeply. Exhale. Bend your knees, chair pose. So I have no doubt now that there's some heat happening. Yeah? Are we drippy yet? Yeah. And it wasn't even me, it wasn't even you, it was the humidity, right? We'll just blame the weather, right? I think it's because you're working on purpose. Now, if you feel like you're very heavy in your toes and your knees, I want you to sit back. Stick your booty back a little bit. Sit. That's it. One more breath. Then push through your feet. Come all the way up, high. And then stretch back just a little. And bring your hands to your heart. How are we feeling? You guys good? You look amazing. I am inspired by you today. Let's add on a little more. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Go to plank and lower on the exhale. Try to lower slowly, push the floor away. Maybe hover for a second and then put it all down. Inhale for cobra. And then exhale, take it back into downward facing dog. Now I want you to step the right foot forward and turn the left foot flat. So that's a little different lunge. We call it warrior, Virabhadrasana 1. And we rise up. And again, you have that same idea. The back leg is straight. The front one is bending. We come up. The chest plate is forward. There's passion in the warrior. I want to see your heart forward. See if you can broaden the chest a little bit more. Open up from the armpits and squeeze a little in the upper back. That's it. Now, if you really want to get a little extra something, you start to pull the left side of the body a little more forward. It's all anchored in the left foot, so you can feel the push and the pull. Give me one more breath, and then bring your hands right to your heart. All right, we are going to lean our weight forward. Lean over the right leg and start to float the left leg up behind you. I want you to point your toes and keep the hips level, but see if you can get that leg to lift a little higher. So good. Now, sweep your arms back behind you. Get your arms higher than your body. So the chest and the eyes are lifted and the foot is lifted behind you. Degasana, right? Airplane pose. Everyone here, you guys look amazing. Let's see if we can really feel that strength in the back leg. And then very gracefully come forward, knee to belly. You can grab the leg and hold. Let's try one more time, arms parallel. See if it's a little easier to get that knee to the elbow. It takes that little extra, right? It's in your obliques. It's in your core. Find it. Push down more with the standing leg and then lift a little more with the leg in the air, the left one. Yes, the push and the pull, and then put it down. No drama there. Inhale, take a vinyasa, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Step it back and lower on the exhalation. Again, try to push the floor away. Lower a little slower, feel your muscles. And then inhale into your back bend, gentle cobra pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, left foot steps up to the hands. Right foot turns in flat, Virabhadrasana 1. We build the pose with mindfulness. We try to break down all the parts so that we are completely immersed in what we're doing in the moment. Really doing what we're doing as we do it. That's the definition of yoga. So it could be warrior pose, it could be driving your car, it could be having a conversation with a loved one, it could be shopping at Trader Joe's when you leave here, right? Are you really doing what you're doing as you do it? Are you living your life in the moment to the fullest? Show me that you are doing warrior pose to the fullest right now. Awaken where you want to. Don't check out. Please, check in. Bring your hands to your heart. Lean a little weight forward. It's not a big lift. It's a little lift with the back leg. Start pointing the toes. See if you can get the leg long and lifted. And then sweep your arms behind you. Get your arms to lift a little. This is all about how strong your back body is. Can you get your arms higher than your body? Can you lift your chest and your heart? Maybe lift the crown of your head. Feel that little bit of squeeze in your right glute and lift your leg. And then slowly draw the knee to belly. Stand tall. Stand tall with that knee pulled in. You can grab it, find your balance. And then take the arms straight out in front. Push the floor away. You are in plank pose, and you are drawing your knee to your belly. I mean your knee to your elbow. Eyes focused, don't hold your breath. I don't know anywhere in any community where a knee touching an elbow is a measure of who you are as a human, right? So just don't want it so bad. Just try. And then put your foot down. Let your arms down. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Step it back to plank and lower. Move through your vinyasa. Do it with some grace. Know that every time we move, we build a little more strength, a little more awareness. It was never meant to be perfection. It was meant to be practice. Find your way to down dog. All right, take a nice deep breath in. Come forward into plank pose. Lift your right foot from the mat. Draw the right knee to the elbow. Now, half a push-up. Bend your elbows and lower down. As you go down, tuck the left elbow in. Tuck the left elbow in under your body, so you're leaning on it. And then lift that back leg behind you. Yes, you got to get down on that left arm. Some of you gave up. Okay, take a knee. I'm going to observe. I'm going to demonstrate so you can see. Okay, so I better go this way. This will be better. So we're in plank pose, yeah? And then we're going to pull the knee to the elbow. Everyone knows what that looks like. Then we're going to bend the elbows, and we got to tuck the opposite arm under so the back leg can float. It's pointed, and the glute is working, and it lifts. You can't kick it. Don't kick it. I promise if you kick it, you're going to face plant. Like, boom. Like, don't do that. You won't be happy about it. Getting the leg up isn't that important that you end up needing a nose job, right? So you got to find that action of pointing the leg back, lifting, and then lifting and finding it. It'll come up. There we go. Mark's got it. So right elbow, right knee. Look forward. Don't look back. Find the action in that right leg. Lots of success. The hardest part today is that you're slippery, right? Go ahead, step back to down dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. Let's hang out there, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Grab onto your big toes. Don't be aggressive here. Let's soften. Let the head down. Let the body recover. And actually, the truth is, I don't think we need physical recovery as much as we need mental recovery. We need attitude adjustment. So I need you to come back into the present moment. Come back to that feeling of like yoga begins now. The truth is that whatever happened on the first side, like if you really couldn't do it and you're feeling bad about it, I'm going to ask you to let it go. And the truth is, if you did it and you did it really well and you're feeling really good about it, I'm going to ask you to let that go too. Because it's already over. It's already gone. Nobody cares. It feels great to try. It feels good to accomplish, but we have to be here right now. And so whatever has already happened to us in our lives, like there's an impression, but how much do we want to hold it? I'd say we're better off tuning right into this moment, having a clean slate, and then trying it again. Let's release the toes. Inhale, look up. Walk it out into plank. It should feel good to unhinge the hips and get the core strong. Take it one step at a time. A little lift of the left leg. Left knee to left elbow. That's the work. If you can get the knee to the elbow, you bend the elbows and you come a little forward and down. Once you get that right elbow under your body, you might be able to lift your right leg behind you. That's it. It's fun to play. It's also good to get a little ego check. You know, give it your best shot and then let it go. Go back to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath here. Let out a little sound. Clear it out. That's it. Go ahead and walk your hands back to your feet. Slide your whole hand under your foot to release your wrist. Make sure your knees bend so you can get the back of your hand on the mat. You get a really nice bend in the wrist and you step up into your palms. You can press a little bit with your toes. And we want to really make sure that we're getting some release for the wrists. After all the push-ups and the arm balancing, we are doing some counter work here, and it's always good to give a little love to the hammies. Let your head down, no tension in the neck. Check in, soften your face. Deepen your breath. Maybe even breathe through your mouth a couple times to cool things down. Last breath here. And then we'll slide our hands out from under the feet and very sensitively, very slowly bend your knees, tuck your tailbone and your chin and just roll it up. That's it. Inhale, both arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen on your inhale. Walk it out into plank pose. Hold plank for just a moment. And then as you exhale, lower yourself down slowly. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, down dog. All right. Now, I'd like you to come to a seated position. You can do it without a lot of drama. You can just kind of crawl forward if you want to. You can jump, step, or walk through gracefully. We're going to come into a seated position, and we're going to put both feet flat on the mat. That's it. Both feet flat. Go ahead and put your hands on your knees, and then lift your chest. Get some length in your spine. Now I want you to feel that feeling of elongating and lengthening the spine up, and then start to lean back. Make sure you don't go so far that you feel your tailbone curl under and your lower back start to collapse. I want you to keep that back flat and straight. That's it. Now release your hands, reach forward. Are you breathing? Okay, keep the left foot on the ground, lift the right one up. Draw that knee right up into the belly. Squeeze it tight. And then extend and straighten it out long. Go ahead, squeeze the knee into the chest. Squeeze it! Yes! And then extend it out long. One more time, third one. Squeeze it in tight, tight, tight. Release it out long. Bend the knee, place it back on the floor. Let's round the back and rest forward, head between the knees. Soften the belly, happy Buddha belly. I think that's why he's so happy, because he doesn't care. All of us are so wound up, so tight about our abs, right? He's the happiest guy. His belly is out to here and he's just smiling, right? Right? We are way too attached to our bodies. I think we need to appreciate them. We need to love them and care for them, but not think that we are defined by the way they look. It's the most magnificent machine. It's the most magnificent piece of equipment you will ever own, you will ever use. Let's lift the head. Hold the knees. Get really tall in the spine. Start to lean back just a little bit. Keep that length. Don't let the tailbone curl under. And then lift your left leg. Squeeze that left knee in. Squeeze it tight, 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 tight. And then extend it out. We're only doing 3 times, so give it your best. Squeeze it in, pull, pull. All we're doing is becoming more aware of our strength or more aware of our weakness, not judging. Last time, squeeze it in. Extend it out. Bend the knee, put it flat, and then rest your head forward between your knees. Round your back. I think we could all use a really big inhale and a big old moan, a big old sigh. And to me, that's a sign. That's a sign that it's time for us to get quiet for a moment. So I'd like you to come to simple cross legs. Just go ahead, release your knees out, cross your legs, get to a comfortable position. I invite you to rest your hands on your knees, facing up or facing down. Hands in Namaskarasana, or even just hands on your heart. Close your eyes. This is your opportunity to meet yourself exactly where you are. To be right here, right now, in this moment. Atta Yoga Anusasanam. Yoga begins now. Yoga is a state of mental clarity and presence. It begins the moment you come into present time. I imagine that all throughout our days, our yoga begins, and then it fades. And then it begins. And then it fades. Staying awake, being clear and conscious and paying attention. It's a little bit of work, but it feeds you. It energizes you. So practice, not just on the mat, but every moment that you can, every moment you remember to take a breath and meet yourself right where you are. I know that the course of any one of our days could shoot us right off the present moment. We have been given a gift. We have been given this amazing information. We have all been somehow drawn to this practice so that we could do this work and enhance our lives. And I promise you that the more awake you are, the more present you are, the more that you light the way for someone else to be the same. If you are really truly shopping at Trader Joe's later, and you greet the cashier with a smile by name, because they're probably wearing a name tag, your yoga just went to work in the world. It could really be that simple. And believe me, it won't just make their day. What they shine right back on you will make your day. Think about it. Think about all the ways that we could really be doing what we're doing as we do it. Let's try just a little harder for the rest of this practice. We are going to simply lay down onto our backs, and I want you to use your senses. I want you to feel that mat beneath you. Really be right here in this moment. Lay yourself down. Oh my gosh, feel your body say thank you. Lay yourself down. Feel the support of that ground beneath you. And then pull your right knee into your belly. As you pull it in, I want you to feel a little bit of a squeeze, but at the same time stretch your left leg out. So there's a push and a pull happening. You don't have to lift your head. I actually encourage you to keep the back of the head down and draw the kidneys down into the mat. And just take one more breath here. And then take a really gentle twist over to the left side. Soften the actions, rotate your body Open the chest wide and look out to the right. This is a good place to give them just a little something, just a little extra.
Flow through your body.
What do you feel? How are you approaching the pose? Are you really trying to get somewhere, or can you meet yourself right where you are? Are we fully in it? Mind, body, breath? Or have we checked out? Are we being aggressive and trying so hard to get somewhere? Just interesting to observe. Take one more breath. And then gently roll yourself back to center. As you exhale, just roll it back. Release that right leg. And switch to the other side. Left knee comes in and we start with a little push, a little pull. So there's like a little bit of muscle action here. You feel one leg drawing into the body, the other one extending out. We are rebalancing the pelvis. We want to do that in equal measure. No more pushing than there is pulling, and vice versa. Balanced action. We'll take one more breath here. And as you soften the action, we come into our twist to the right side. As the knee goes around to the right, turn your head to the left. Keep the chest nice and broad. Be easy with yourself. Notice what muscles are moving, where the sensations are, and how the breath moves. Sometimes we get so hard, we put the armor on that we can't feel the breath moving. See if you can get the breath to move through your whole body. No restriction on the diaphragm. A little bit of widening of the ribs.
Through your body, body, body,
And we'll take one more breath here, and as you exhale, just let yourself roll back to center. Go ahead and pull both knees into your belly. Give them both a squeeze. And then I want you to put your feet back onto the mat. Both feet flat, arms by your sides. Bend your elbows and point your fingers to the sky. Bend your elbows. Point your fingers to the sky, and then make sure your elbows are in close to your ribs. I want them in narrow because I want you to have a really good connection to being able to push the upper arm bone down. So you're going to keep your booty, keep your tailbone on the floor, press into the upper arm bones and just puff your chest up. Just feel your back contract. Feel your chest open wide. There's a lot of space under your spine right now. Yep, I want you to keep feeling the widening of the collarbones. Yep. Beautiful. Breathe a little bigger into the space. And there's this really beautiful thing that happens. We push down and we rise up. You'll feel it. Now I want you to straighten your arms. Now your whole arm is down on the ground. Whole arm is down. Press the whole thing now and not just the upper arm, and then start lifting your bottom. Start drawing your tailbone towards your legs, towards your heels. That's it. And the more you press down, the more you'll be able to lift up. That's it. And so I want you to feel the chest puffing up, and I want you to feel your feet pushing and your hips rising. There you go. Open up the front of those hip flexors. We're going to take 3 more breaths. You can do anything for 3 breaths. Don't be aggressive here. Try not to let the knees splay open wide. Keep them about hip distance apart. The whole footprint working for you. All 10 toes working. Last breath. Now slowly on the exhale, upper back comes down, Then the middle back. Keep drawing the tailbone toward the heels, lengthening your spine, and put it all down gently. Take a moment right there. Just notice how you feel. Let's go ahead and straighten the legs all the way down the mat. And then lengthen the arms all the way up over your head. Just take up a little space. Make this effortless. Make it effortless. The arms are resting on the ground over your head, not up in the air over your chest. Yeah. Every single part of you at ease. Embracing the support of the earth beneath you. This is the beginnings of just again really doing what you're doing as you do it. And so what is it that you're doing right now? Nothing, right? You're starting to embrace the stillness. You're starting to allow the body to recover. Try not to reach with your arms. Let them rest. Let them rest. You're doing nothing. No muscle action. Yeah. Now, I want you to open the feet just a touch wider. Just a teeny, teeny bit wider, like maybe out toward the edges of the mat. And then your palm is facing up on the right hand. I want you to keep it facing up and just bring that arm out and down, around by your side. And leave that palm facing up. Let it rest in a neutral position. And then the same with the left arm. The palm is facing up, so just start to bring it down a little bit. Let it rest there. Palms facing up. And we slip into the sweetest pose. It's called Shavasana. It is our final resting pose. In a society and a culture that is so programmed to do, we measure our value by how busy we are. It's hard to wrap our heads around the value of this. So think of it just in contrast to the regular pace of your life. That it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to invite wholeness, balance. It's okay to be still. It's okay to be the witness. Atta Yoga Nusasanam. Our yoga practice has not come to an end, but instead let's look at this moment as our yoga is just begun. So start to notice your breath, start to pay attention, be conscious about how you move your body. Work diligently to stay in the present moment. Catch yourself when the mind wanders. And with some mindfulness and with some grace, I want you to find your way to seated. This is one of my favorite moments. I wish I could see all the faces at home in all the different places, the diversity, like all of the different ages, the shapes, the sizes, the levels, the colors, like all of it. This beautiful global community. And what I see when you arise is like someone who just took the armor off for a little bit, who just for a moment maybe feels a little more free, a little more liberated from the burdens of life. I think this moment is worth acknowledging. It's like that moment where we could really pull ourselves into the now. Bear witness to what it is, like the facial expression, where your shoulders sit. It's different than when we started. I am looking at you all right at 9 o'clock, and then I look at you all at 10 o'clock, and it's a different park. You look so beautiful with the softness in your face. You look so beautiful not trying so hard to be perfect. And the amazing thing is that for most of us, we feel most perfect right now. Let's bring our hands together at the heart. Let's seal this moment as if to acknowledge and remember. Allow the impression to be made. Let's take a deep breath in together. And we'll sound the sacred, beautiful sound of Om. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Oh, may peace rain down on all of us. May we somehow find it in us to maintain the peace that we have found right here. And when we walk away from this park, when we walk away from our mats, we walk away from this practice, may we remember that it exists within us all the time. All we did was peel away the layers. We allowed ourselves to step out of a memory, stop fantasizing about the future, and just come into this present moment right now. My prayer, my ask, my wishes for all of you is that we always know our way back to this peace, that we use the tools of this practice in ways that make our lives better. I thank you so, so much for being here with me, for sharing, being so open. You inspire me every single week. Namaste. To you. To you for coming out in August. Woo! Right? Pretty amazing. Yeah. And a little special thank you to Andy and Mark. You guys work hard. You do this whole setup. Mark, you assist. You guys get out here. Even our friend Michael Kuckelman over there, you show up early, you sweep the floor, you make it nice for everybody else. Like, there's so much community here. There's so much beauty. I love every single one of you for what you bring to this. Your presence matters. The practice is different when you're not here. And if you tune in online, we feel you. There is energy that comes from the global community. It is not just what's happening here. It is this, imagine this rippling out into the world. It is just magnificent. So if you want information about what's going on in the rest of Yoga Journey and the community, I'm happy to share. I have information about upcoming retreats, workshops. I'd love for you to sign in. The city requires that we get signatures from everyone, so please come and sign the waiver forms. And I have an email list. If you're not receiving our emails, I would love for you to really print clearly your name and email so I can add you to the email list. We only send out 2 things a month, one on the 1st and one on the 15th. The first is the community newsletter for the studio, everything that's happening at Yoga Journey. And on the 15th, it's my personal newsletter, usually attached to my blog. So if you want some insights about where my head is at, if you want to know what I'm doing outside of the studio, there's 2 different newsletters that come out. And you can opt in or out of either, but I would love to stay in touch. So come up and sign in. I have passes, magnets, information about programming, retreats. For those of you that have been affected by recovery, the Y12SR, it's Yoga for 12-Step Recovery. We have a really amazing program at the studio, 1 Tuesday a month. The second Tuesday of the month, if you have been touched by, not necessarily that you yourself are in recovery, but if you have been touched by addiction, it's a really beautiful community of support, doing yoga and having a meeting at the same time. So if you're interested, come and see us on the second Tuesday of the month. There's a pen. You're so welcome. Passes, if you've never been to Yoga Journey.
Yeah, I have a magnet.
A magnet, sure.